All right, welcome to the Travel 42 in-depth webinar. My name is Larissa Worley, and I am the Senior Customer Support and Relationship Coordinator for Travel 42. I've been with the company about 7 years, so quite a while. I've probably talked to most of you either via email or phone, but if not, please feel free to reach out and say hi. I'm here to help you with anything that you might need with Travel 42 or any questions that you might have. Travel 42 was created to help travel advisors be the most knowledgeable people that they can be. So we're here to make your job easier so you don't have to go to a bunch of different websites to find information on destinations, hotels, cruises, points of interest, dining. We have everything listed within Travel 42. Now you can use Travel 42 a couple of different ways. You can simply do research on Travel 42, which means you'll go through and kind of search for the destinations you want that you can then recommend to your clients. You can quickly send your clients information, whether that be one destination guide or one hotel, or you can create a trip plan. Now, the trip plans can be very general, meaning that you can have, let's say, 10 destination guides and 10 hotels in there. And not be itinerarized, or you can go through our drag and drop itinerary builder and create an itinerary with the information you've added into that trip plan. So that would be more if you're sending that to your clients right before their trip. The others would be more if you were wanting to just help your clients prepare for a trip or plan for their trip. So we're here with you in all stages of the trip planning process. And it can also be as simple as sending one hotel. So if you wanted to create a trip plan that you use pretty often that has some things that you normally will like to sell or like to recommend to your clients, you can reuse that trip plan over and over and over again. So we try to make it easier for you to do those things. So when you get logged into Travel 42, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see your dashboard. Now we have a banner up here at the top with some of our destination and hotel spotlights, as well as our sister product, Axis Travel App, that is an itinerary builder. So this does change regularly. If anything you click on in the banner, it will take you to either that destination, hotel, or website, depending on what you're trying to get to. But like I said, that banner is constantly changing. You'll have a search bar right here. So if you're wanting to search for a destination guide, a hotel, a see and do, cruise, restaurant, whatever it may be, this is where you would go ahead and type that in. Now, if you know the specific name of the hotel you're trying to search for, I would simply go and type in that name of the hotel, see if we have it that way. Otherwise, you can search for the destination and then narrow it down that way. But I know some people, they see destinations and they go ahead and put the destination name in there, but you can search for hotel names. This search bar can do a lot of things. So search for whatever you're trying to find. Now you'll find your trip plans here. These will also be merged over from the current site, www.travel-42.com. So any trip plans you create there will show up here and vice versa. Any of these trip plans can be edited by clicking on this little circle to the left. You can open the trip plan to edit information within the trip plan. You can edit details. You can view your travelers, send, print, copy URL, duplicate, or delete. Now we'll go a little bit more into detail with this once we create a new trip plan, but I just wanted to let you know that any trip plans that you've previously used, if you just wanted to quickly reshare those, you can do that by clicking on that little blue dot to the left. You do not have to create a new trip plan or anything like that. Now, if you wanted to keep the trip plan kind of here and create a new one, all you would have to do is click that little circle and then click duplicate. What that will do, that will create another trip plan with the same information that you can then edit the information. So if you wanted to edit the name or take away or add some things into that trip plan, you can do that there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one since I still have my same one. Now, send simply as that, sends via email. You would type in your client's email address and then it sends them a direct email with that trip plan. Print download, it creates a PDF that you can then share with your clients, either attach it to an email you've already created, or you can save it to your computer and share it at any other time or with any other way, or you can simply print it. Now be careful when you're printing, because if you've added a lot of stuff into that trip plan, you don't want to print like 500 pages. That would be an excessive amount of pages. So that's my only word of warning for that print download. I like to save them to my computer. That way, if I needed to reshare it with somebody, you can definitely do that with that PDF that you've already saved. Now, copy URL. What that does, if you click copy URL, it copies the URL for that trip plan. So if you're sharing information with your client in another way and you wanted to paste this URL, whether it be in an email or your other platform that you're sharing information on, they will be able to click the URL and then open up that trip plan. So they'd click it, it will pull up that trip plan that you sent them the URL for, and then they'll be able to see all the information there. So this is kind of what a sent trip plan would look like. So if I sent something via email, this is how it's going to look. You're going to have your cover page with a beautiful cover photo. Now you can choose your own cover photo or you can use ours. I'll show you more about that here in just a moment. Your logo would go here, your headshot here. All of that is done under Edit Profile. And then your business card. This is what we call your business card, literally the information that would be on a business card. Then you can go through and click through anything that was in that trip plan. So this one had Hawaii information. So Hawaii, Oahu Island, and Maui. So that's what that trip plan was. And you can do that with any of these that have the little bubble to the side. Now at the bottom, you have your travelers. Anytime you're going to be sending information directly from travel42 to your client, there needs to be a profile added for them with their email address. It's super simple to do. It does not take any time at all. And there's a bunch of different ways to add them as a traveler. You can do it right here by clicking Create New Traveler. You simply need their first name. So let's do one done. Last name, and then email address. And then you can save client. Now that's basically the information that you need, if I could spell correctly. But you do have some additional information that you can add. So if you click the additional tab, you can put their address, their phone number, home phone, mobile phone, work phone, email, Skype, display name. Now, display name is cool because obviously if you had it like this, just their first name and last name, this is how we're going to refer to them. So when you send something, it's going to say, hey, Don Mole, here is your trip plan. Additional under display name is what's going to appear on the communication. So if you have a nickname for your client, or maybe they go by a different name than their first or last name, this is where you would put that. So whenever we send them information, it'll go by their display name as opposed to their first and last name, which is here. So always remember that at the bottom of additional information. Then you also have preferences. You can put special needs, family info, miscellaneous, anything that would be helpful for you to remember in the future can go under here. But the only thing you need to add a traveler is the first name, last name, and email address. Then you can save, and now I can send Dawn as many emails as I want. I only have to do that once. So only one time do you have to input a traveler. Now, if you're going to be sending yourself information, which is totally fine, add yourself as a traveler. So put your first name, your last name, and your email address. That way you can send it directly to yourself and then forward it on to your clients. I know some travel advisors like to see the information before you actually send it. So that's one way to do it. Now we do have another way, and I'm going to show you that once we get started on our trip plan. But first, let's talk about quick send and quick print. So if you're coming into travel42, you don't necessarily want to create a trip plan. You just want to quickly send something to your client or quickly print something to your client. Simply search for what you're wanting to print or send. So let's go ahead and type in Rome. You'll notice you have some destination guides that pop up. You have some hotels that pop up and see and do. If you see what you're looking for here, you can obviously click it in the drop down and it'll take you to that destination guide or hotel or point of interest that you're looking at. So this is where it took us since I clicked it in the drop down. Now, if I did the opposite, or if I did the other option and hit the magnifying glass to pull up all search results. So I'm not clicking on Rome, Italy. I'm clicking the magnifying glass to look at all search results. Now I see my top destinations, my top see and do, my top hotels, and if there were cruise ships or cruises, I would see those here. So you can simply work from here if you wanted to filter any hotels, if you wanted to see show only star rated hotels or show only hotels with a review, you can filter between any hotels here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that because I just want to show you kind of a quick send and quick print. So if I'm looking at a hotel and I wanted to send or print it for my client, I would simply go and click send or print right here on that hotel. Now that will send the hotel or destination in its entirety. So if I wanted to customize something, if I didn't want to send everything in that hotel or that destination, I would need to create a trip plan. And like I said, we will go over that here in just a moment. This is just to show you how to quickly send one hotel or one destination guide. So if I wanted to kind of view the details of that hotel before I sent it, I would simply need to click view details. Now it pulls up that hotel and now I see all the info, and I also have send and print buttons up here at the top. So if I click send or print, it would pull up a send modal, and then I could type in my client's name. Now, if you forgot to add your traveler on that home page, or excuse me, the dashboard, you also have another button to do it here. So if I click create new traveler, I have that same modal that pops up with the first name, last name, and email address. So if you forgot to do it earlier, you can do it right here as well. So this is going to send, if I click send or print up here at the top where this hotel is, it's going to send or print the basic info, the photo gallery. It never sends the booking info. This is never included in any of your travelers' information, so you don't have to worry about them seeing that. The star review and the property and the map. So if I utilize this send or this print button, that is all the information it's going to send. If you say, oh, I would really like to not include the basic info, then you need to create a trip plan. This is specifically just so you can send quickly all of this information or print all of this information. And if you're unsure, go ahead and hover over this little question mark up in the upper right, and it'll kind of remind you what that is for. So that is just to be able to quickly send or print one hotel or one destination guide. Let's go back to our search results because I want to show you the same thing within the destination guide itself. So if you hover over the destination guide, similar to what we did on the hotel, you'll see again the send or print button. That will send or print the destination guide in its entirety. If you want to view it first, click view details. And now you'll be able to see all the information within that destination guide. Now, it's all laid out pretty much the same, the destinations in the hotel. All of the information that is included in that destination guide is going to be over here to the left, just like in the hotel. So if I clicked send or print to get all of, or to send or print to my client, it's going to send or print all of this information. The photo gallery, introduction, highlights, geography, history, port information, potpourri, hotel overview, all of the see and do information, all of the dining, all of the safety tips and events. So that is what will be sent or printed if I click these buttons up here. Now let me just show you what a quick PDF looks like. So I clicked print. What that's going to do is it's going to pull up a PDF for me here in just a moment. Now it needs time to, of course, create the PDF. So let's just give it 1 second and we'll get that PDF loaded. So it's going to go right up here. Let me click on my PDF. And here's the PDF of the destination guide. So this is everything that is included in that Rome, Italy destination guide. Now this one is 85 pages. Now obviously you can print that or you can save it to your computer and then share it via email. 85 is kind of a lot of pages. So it's totally up to you if you want to send. This is where you can kind of think, maybe if I customized it and removed some things, then it won't be as long and I can print it that way. Or you can just go ahead and send it. But that opened up another tab. So now I can simply go back to travel42. So we've learned that send and print can do one hotel or one destination, and we'll do everything within that hotel or destination. Awesome. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. Now, one thing I want to mention is these breadcrumbs up here at the top and this X up here at the top. So we haven't really done anything that would require any sort of saving, because when you quick send or quick print, nothing is saved. It's just a way to get something quickly to your client so they can review it, or even email something quickly to yourself so that you can review it at a later time. So if you want to get back to the dashboard, you would simply click the dashboard up here in the upper left corner, or whatever breadcrumb you're trying to make it back to. You can also click this X as well to get out and take you back to the dashboard. So either way, it'll get you back. So let's go ahead and click this X. Here we go. We're back on our dashboard. Now I want to focus on creating a trip plan. It goes into a little more depth. So let's go ahead and click Create New Trip. I just got a question about the destination templates. I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. Those apply when you're creating a trip plan. Send and print are totally different in that none of your selections matter. It prints and sends everything. Or excuse me, prints or sends everything. When you create a destination guide, you have the option to pick and choose the items that you want to send or print. You can use a destination template. There's a lot of other options you can do, and that trip plan that you create is always saved unless you delete it. So it will show up just like this, and you can reuse it if you need to, or if you're completely done with it, you can delete it. So let's go ahead and click Create New Trip. So you have trip details and then layout. Both of these are tabs that you can use to create your trip plan. The only thing you need to create a trip plan is a trip plan name. So if you're trying to do this as quick as possible, this is all you need, the trip plan name. We'll title it Jamaica Honeymoon. So right now I've got everything I need to create my trip. I could go to the next step layout and click Create New Trip. I want to show you kind of all the little optional things you can use as well. So let's go back to trip details. So especially prepared for. If you didn't want it, you don't have to add travelers and you don't have to put especially prepared for, but if you want a name to show up, or say it's a group of people and you're wanting to put kind of a name for that group, that's where this especially prepared for is. You can put a name right there. If you wanted to add a traveler that you've already saved, you can add your traveler here as well. Now here is another spot where you can create a new traveler. So if you forgot to create the traveler on the dashboard, you can click this plus sign and there's your new traveler modal. You can put the first name, last name, email address, and then any additional or preferences that you want to add for them. So that's the plus sign right over here. Now, if you've already added them as a traveler, you simply start typing and then that traveler will pop up. So especially prepared for is if you want to type in just a generic name. They're not necessarily a traveler, but you want it to show up as this is prepared for who. Travelers are your saved travelers, and now you can add that here. So now it'll show up, hey, Larissa Worley, this is your trip plan, or whatever name you set for them to be called. Suggested retail price, that is the cost of what this trip plan would cost your clients, or what the information you gathered would cost to your clients. So I think our generic that pops up is $29.95. You can change that to maybe what the cost of the trip plan would be. Or you can keep it at the $29.95. A lot of travel advisors will waive that fee for their client, and this is kind of like a bonus for your travelers to be working with you. They get this added information that nobody else can get unless you're a travel advisor that goes through travel42 for a subscription. You can put in the departure date for their trip and the return date for their trip, or enter the duration of days that they'll be gone. Any comments you want to display, these will be shown to your clients, or any trip notes that you want to put down, which are not displayed to your clients. So the next step is going to be the layout. You have some other options here as well. So show cover page is going to always be checked, because you saw earlier when we looked at the trip plan that your business card is also on that cover page. So if you did not want a cover page to show up at all, you would need to remove the business card first, and then you can take away the cover page. But remember, that cover page was really pretty with that really pretty cover photo. So I always recommend leaving it, but if this is just a quick trip plan you're trying to get out, you do not have to use the cover page. But if you check that and check the business card, then you have to have the cover page. Trip summary is going to be like your table of contents. So it'll show them what is included in this trip plan that either you sent them or printed for them. Show images in online view and show images in PDF view. If you send an email, show images in online view. If it's checked, it will show images. If you create a PDF and this is checked, it will show images in PDF. If you want to remove either of those, simply just uncheck them if you don't want to show images, or if you do, check them. Now, my only recommendation for the PDF specifically is if you're going to be printing this trip plan, maybe and you don't have a color printer or really a nice printer that you wanted to print information with, I would go ahead and leave this off. That way you don't even have to worry about it showing up like a ink blob. But that is my only recommendation. I like to keep it there because you can create a PDF and attach it to an email, but you can also create a PDF and print it. So if you're going to be printing it, you don't have a color printer, I would go ahead and remove that. Upload an image or link an image. So that beautiful cover photo we saw on the front of the Hawaii trip plan, that one was one that is from our database. So I didn't add a cover photo, but you can. If you create your trip plan and you're like, oh, I have a much better photo than the one that travel42 used, you can upload the image from your own computer, or you can link an image if you have something better, maybe say on Google or even from your travels. So once you're done with all this information, then you can create new trip and your workspace will load. So what I like to tell travel advisors, what we just did was create the folder. Now we have to search for the information that we want to add to our folder, whether that be one destination guide, one hotel, 12 hotels, 12 destination guides. It can be anything once you create a trip plan. Now I just have to add it. So I'm going to click here and let's search for Jamaica. Now, when I'm creating a trip plan and it's specifically around a destination, I like to start with the destination first and then work my way down to the hotel. But you can do it totally different. You can search for the hotel specifically, then go into the destination guide. You can log out and come back in and work on it again. Once you've created the trip plan and anything you add to it, it will be saved. So you'll notice again, we have the predictive search results that popped up. I have my destination guides, hotels, cruises, see and do, and then press enter to see all results. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the Jamaica destination guide. And you'll notice it looks very similar. We have our overview, which includes at a glance, photo gallery, introduction, geography, history, snapshot, potpourri, hotel overview, see and do, dining, safety tips, events, hotels, and related. Now, these two tabs are totally separate from the destination guide, meaning that if I apply a destination template or if I add everything here, I have to specifically go into these two tabs if I wanted to add information. Hotels is just that, hotels within the destination that I'm searching for. Related is related destination guides to what destination I'm on. So if I wanted to see cities that are in Jamaica or maybe nearby destinations, that's what that related tab means. If you click on that, I'll find nearby destinations or destinations located within Jamaica that I can add to my trip plan. Now, add item, we saw that a couple of times. If you click add item, that's going to add the whole destination guide or the whole hotel to your trip plan. So if you're wanting to pick and choose and kind of specifically see what you're adding to the trip plan, that's when view details comes in handy. So let's go back to our overview because I want to show you the destination templates. So if we click apply destination template, another modal comes up. Now in my preferences and settings, I have it set to give me the full destination guide if I use templates, which means everything in that destination is checked. It does that, and then I can go in and uncheck items as I need. So you don't have to keep this here. If you wanted to remove potpourri or snapshot or history, you can simply take those away. But we do have a couple of different templates. So of course, the full, that is everything. Then we have more for a business traveler, and it changes it just a little bit. Then we have a cruise traveler, and then we have a leisure traveler. So all of these will give you pre-populated results. So the leisure traveler needs introduction, geography, history, sightseeing, recreation, spectator, sports, shopping, et cetera, et cetera. But you can pick and choose. So if you selected the leisure template, but you wanted to add at a glance, all you have to do is just check it and then save. Just be sure to save at the bottom with any changes that you make to the templates. But that's the destination template. And I'll show you once we're done with this trip plan, how to change it in your preferences so that it always populates either the full, the business, the leisure, or the cruise. So now what you can start doing is adding information by checking the checkbox. So if you want to add at a glance to your trip plan, simply check the checkbox. Now, these work one and the same. It's just on two different sides. If you wanted to quickly go through and, okay, I know everything I want to add, let me just check these boxes to the left. Perfect. That's one way to do it. If you wanted to go through on the right, be like, let me read all these first before I add the information. Then you can check it over to the right as well. Now, once you get to the bottom, you do not have to scroll back to the top to get to the next tab. So we can click the next tab, which is going to be See and Do down here at the bottom. So that takes us to the See and Do tab. You'll see sightseeing, recreation, spectator sports, shopping, and then we have some itineraries as well. So not all destination guides are the same. Some have different itineraries. Some have a day-by-day itinerary. Some have 3-day itineraries. Some have 7-day, and then some also have day trips. So always check out these itineraries here at the bottom. If you're not really sure what your client should do when they travel, this is a very helpful start. So you can always add that itinerary in there if they need some help kind of figuring out what to do while they're there. Then you have some local tours, and then we have our next tab, which is dining. You can always go back to the overview tab as well if you needed to update any information or remove any information. So let's go next to dining. And one thing I want to mention as well, you'll notice the checkbox here on the left. Of course, if you click it, it's going to add the information. So to get to the next tab without adding information, you just want to click to the right. So if I click to the right of See and Do, it's going to open that See and Do tab for me. If I click to the right of the Dining tab, it's going to open that Dining tab for me. Same with all the rest of them. If you're wanting to add it, of course, check the checkbox. But if you're just wanting to get to the next tab to review the information, go ahead and click to the right. That will pull up that next tab for you. So I'm going to add this here. Now, of course, this is just a dining overview. Once I dig a little bit deeper into the Jamaica destination guide, maybe some of those smaller city guides, then we'll have some specific restaurants and some specific See and Do's pop up. So next, let's get to safety. We'll do personal safety and health tips, which is my favorite tab, specifically the do's and don'ts, excuse me. So I always like to add that one. Then we have geostats, which is more so your passport requirements, voltage requirements, time zone, population, currency exchange, and taxes. Then you have tipping, weather, and what to wear. And all of this is very helpful. And if your client were to call you with any questions, you can specifically pull up that trip plan or pull up any information in Travel42 and kind of sound like the expert when you're talking about it, even if you haven't been there. So this is cool in more than one ways. You can send all this to your clients, or you can just tell them about all this information and sound like a total expert when you're talking about it. You have communication, internet access, mail and package services, newspapers and magazines, and telephone, transportation, bus, car, ship. Now, a lot of this information can get overwhelming, but this is where you need to know your client. So you need to know, okay, how are they comfortable traveling? Would all of this sent to them be a little overwhelming, or do they just need to know about car transportation, or are they just going to be taking buses? So just get to know your clients, see what they're going to want information on and what might be a little bit too much. For more information, you also have some tourist offices down here as well, and then additional resources. Now, if you get done adding the information and you needed to go back to remove something, you can always go back through those tabs and take anything away. Say, oh, this is getting too long, I don't need all this information. All you have to do is simply uncheck what you don't want, and it'll be removed immediately. So let's go back. Oh, no. What am I doing? So if we needed to go back to our trip plan, we would click up here at the breadcrumb to take us back, or we'd click on the X up here, but I'm not done. Not done in the slightest. Oh, and events is what I forgot. So something new that we have is a local events link. So if you add this to your trip plan, your client will be able to click here and they'll be able to see local events while they're traveling. So that might be helpful if they're trying to find some things to do. But we also list a brief calendar that kind of shows not a calendar per se, but information about the calendar that kind of shows things that go on at that destination during specific times of the year. So next we're going to go to the related tab. There is a hotels tab. So if you click hotels, you'll be able to see all the hotels in Jamaica. But I want to click on the related tab because I want to actually put where the honeymoon is going to be, which is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. So again, I have the options to add item or view details. Now I know earlier we talked about the quick send and quick print buttons. When you're creating a trip plan, don't use those buttons because it's only going to send or print Ocho Rios, Jamaica, since I'm hovered over that destination. It's not going to take into account any of the items I've already added because I'm not sending the trip plan. If I click send or print here, it's still only going to do Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Just wanted to make that known. Add item, like I said earlier, will add the destination guide or hotel in its entirety. So I'm going to click view details because again, I want to pick and choose the items that I want to add. So I'm going to click view details. That pulls up my destination guide for Ocho Rios, Jamaica. So I'm going to go ahead and add the items that I want. I'm going to do this quickly because I want to get into the hotel and then also show you options that you have within the trip plan. So I've added my overview. Now I'm going to go through sightseeing, of course, and you'll see these gold ticket items. Those are items that we recommend highly. So those come in handy too. We have recreation, nightlife, performing arts, spectator sports, shopping, and itinerary. Dining, we do have different cuisines. So dining overview, you'll see this one populated actual restaurants you can add. Local and regional, I always add. And you can add the cuisines, you can add seafood. Again, with the safety tab, I always like to add that one, especially if they're going, if they're traveling anywhere that they've never been before, always add the safety tab. Tips, like I said, this one is my favorite. Always add the do's and don'ts. You can switch it up. See how I started adding on the right? Now I'm going back over to the left for more information. Now we'll get into the hotels. All right, so hotels, you can filter hotels. If you pull up filter hotels, this is similar to what we saw in our search results. So you can filter by star rating, show hotels with a review, amenity rating, hotel name. If you don't know the hotel name, you can search for the first letter of the hotel, the chain hotel rep, the hotel size, and then you have some preferences, location, and type. So you can filter any hotels you want. Also, if you click this little middle button right here, this pulls up a map view. So the cool thing about the map view is if you're unsure of, say, hotels nearby that might not specifically be in that destination, all you have to do is drag around and it'll pull up hotels that are going to be around that destination. Oh, it might not do it here. We'll do it in search results. But yes, in search results, if you were to drag the calendar around, you'll be able to see different hotels that populate. So see here, if I drag over, I will see other properties that populate. So that way, if you kind of are unsure of the destination, not really sure where the hotels are, but you know you're in a specific destination, you'll be able to see things nearby. And then you can click on them by clicking view details, add item, or send. Excuse me, don't send, don't print, but view item, add item, or view details. Excuse me, I'm getting very tongue-tied. And then we also have a list view. So if you wanted to list it by star rating, which means they'll show up the highest star first and then go to the lowest star if you wanted to filter by amenity rating, by the rate, by the city, by the commission, whatever it be, that's the list view. So that'll show you kind of a list view of the hotels in that destination. So let's click view details for Couple San Sushi. Now this one, you'll notice it does have a star review. If you ever get to a hotel and there is no star review tab there, it means that hotel has not been visited to by our editorial team and writers, and they haven't physically been able to review the property. We do try to get the properties reviewed, of course, but some of them do not have a star review. This one does. So I'm going to go ahead and add the basic info in the photo gallery. The star review is broken up into the location and history, property overview, accommodations, non-standard amenities, advisor notes, and then comparable properties. I always like to add that one. Property information, you have your room amenities, hotel facilities, restaurants on site, meeting facilities, recreation, rates and policies, and location. And then you have a map as well if you wanted to add the map. Now I'm going to go to nearby properties because I wanted to add some more in there. So let's go ahead, Couples Tower Isle. No, this one I believe is not in Ocho Rios, but it's okay. I just want to show how you can add multiple hotels and multiple destinations. So if you wanted to add everything to a trip, you could simply click this and it'll add that whole tab. You've got the review, and then we've got the property info. And you can keep doing nearby hotels. And then we can do add item for this one. Now remember, add item adds everything. And let's go back. Let's see. Let's go back to our trip plan, see what we're working with right now. We've got 2 destination guides, 3 hotels, and 57 see and do. Now you can add, like I said, as many hotels, as many destinations, as many cruises, as many anything as you want into a trip plan. Custom places, if there's something that you're wanting to add to this trip plan and say it's not in travel42, you can add a custom place. So you can enter the website URL for that custom place, or you can just put the name of the custom place, the place type, address, phone number, and then any information. If there's a custom place that does have a website, you can honestly copy and paste from that website here. If you wanted to, or you can type your own information here as well. It's whatever is easiest for you, but that's a custom place. That's if there's something that's not in travel42, whether that be the airport, an Airbnb, a point of interest that's not in travel42, or maybe a restaurant, anything can be added. We have all the different place types: airport, city, cruise ship, cruise, dining, event, hotel, office, other, residence, transportation, and see and do. Now we've added everything into our trip plan. We have a couple of options from here. If you wanted to send, print, copy URL, you can do all that here. If you're done working on the trip plan, you can click save and close. If you wanted to organize the information within your trip plan, you can either change the order or schedule it on the calendar. Change the order is just that. You just drag and drop how you want it to show up to your clients. Schedule would be to drag and drop the information onto the calendar. So if they're going to be traveling in February, just click these arrows to the right. February 2024. They're going to be going to Jamaica, and just drag it to the appropriate date. And you'll notice it's populating here. I've now got 12th, 13th, 14th. There goes the 15th. You have the week. You can categorize it by the week, or you can see it by the day. So if you wanted to actually put something at the specific time, you would need to go to the day view to do that. And then you can also see it in the list view as well. If you schedule something, then you can no longer change the order. So in order to be able to change the order, you would need to delete all of these from the calendar. Now, once you're in organize, if you click this trash can, it only removes it from the calendar. It doesn't remove it from your trip plan. The only way to remove information from your trip plan is under the collect tab. Preview is just that. It's a preview. So instead of travel advisors having to send everything to themselves first, this kind of shows you what your clients are going to see. So you've got the cover photo, your logo, your headshot, your business card, and then all the information that is in that trip plan. Jamaica, Ocho Rios, Couples Sanssouci, Couples Tower Isle, Jamaica Inn. You can view everything that they're going to be seeing before they actually see it. Once you're done with the trip plan, simply click that blue dot and save and close. Now, one more thing I want to show you before we get up here and kind of review what this is. If you were to search for Rome, I know I showed you kind of briefly that map view, but this is where it'll work a little bit better. So I'm going to click the magnifying glass. If I'm trying to find hotels in Rome, I can click on the map view, zoom in to where I'm trying to find the hotels, and then navigate around. Each time you see a bed with a little person laying in it, that's a hotel within travel42 that you can click on and view. So if you're trying to find a specific destination, You can just zoom in, find the nearest hotel, or find hotels outside of the destination you're searching for. Now you can drag it all around and it'll show you different ones. So here's some more up here, Hotel Romeo. But this is a way to kind of see nearby hotels to what you're searching for. Anytime you see a number in a bubble, that means there's 2 hotels near that area, then you can find those hotels by clicking on that bubble. So that's the map view. Then we also have grid view and list view, which you can search or filter by. Let's go back to the dashboard. Up here at the top, we have what we call the news and alerts tab. This features our recently updated destinations, recently updated hotels, travel alerts powered by IntelliGuide, Travel Age West, Travel Weekly, Travel Pulse. Those are our sister products under the North Star brand. Restrictions, which is powered by Sherpa. So if you needed to find out what restrictions are in place traveling from a destination to a new destination, you can do that here. E-Visa, if you're unsure if your clients need an e-visa when they're traveling, you can find out all that information here. You just need to have where their passport is from and where they're traveling to, and then you can ask, do I need a visa? And you can also purchase e-visas under the e-visa tab. Help tab, this is where you can find frequently asked questions, any of our getting started articles or webinars. We also have the live webinars and on-demand training. So on-demand webinars are the ones we already recorded. Then you have your frequently asked questions and tips and tricks. And then we've also included some recommendations that we have and support and troubleshooting. So always use the help tab. It opens up another tab. So as soon as you log in, I recommend just clicking help, just so you can have it up here if you needed it. Now, profile, this is where you will find your business card information. So if you ever needed to edit anything on your business card, this is where you would do it. You can add your headshot and your logo. I have generic ones right now just to show you where it would be. So put in your headshot, your logo, so your clients know who they're working with. First name, last name, phone numbers, websites, email, company name, address, and then city and state. Preferences, this is where you can include the suggested retail price for all trip plans. You can add an agent's comment header for all trip plans and report comments for all trip plans. Or you can wait until you create the trip plan and add them there. Report items, this is what I was mentioning earlier about the templates. So see, I have full guide here. If you wanted full guide, great. Business, cruise, leisure, all you have to do is add those and then click save. Email, if you wanted to change the subject of your email for all trip plans, you can do that here. I like to receive a copy of any email I sent, so I have this checked for every single trip plan I do. If you want to pick and choose what trip plans you receive a copy on, you simply just uncheck that and click save. And you can always uncheck the copy me when you're doing the trip plan. So if there's one you don't want to get a copy of, just uncheck it when you do the trip plan. You can edit your closing as well. And then search. I have all my search results, especially for the hotel. This one comes in handy by star rating. So it shows me the highest stars first and then goes down to the lower stars. I find that comes in very handy. You can also click manage account. I'm not going to go into this one because manage account is more so your user ID information, your password information, your organization information if you're under a group account, and then also your payment information for the subscription itself. We do have some consortia rates as well. So if you're not a subscriber to Travel42, definitely try it out. We do free trials. Let me sign out real quick so I can show you where. So if you get to the website, you can click register now to sign up for a free trial. Like I said, we do offer some consortia and host agency affiliation discounts. So please let us know if you're affiliated with anyone and we can let you know the best rate. And we do offer group rates as well. So if you have a group of people who want to subscribe, let us know because we can work with you on a rate to get everybody set up with Travel42. And that is it for the webinar. But I'm going to go into any questions that anybody had asked. I know we went into the destination template, so that one we did answer. Oh, and when you're searching for a hotel, if you don't know the name of the hotel, you can search for it by that first letter. Basically the question was, how do you find a hotel if you only know the first letter? When we were in the hotel list under Jamaica, I was able to click filter, and then there was a box that allowed me to choose the hotel name. I'm sorry, the first letter of the hotel. Let me see. Select Jamaica. If I filter hotels, then you can go here and do the first letter. And we also have, if you go to the list view, you can filter it by name. So that might also be helpful in seeing the alphabetical order. So there we go with that question. And yes, we do still have the current site or the www site. Both are still active. And if you have a subscription or a free trial, you can access both. So the new site, which is what I just went through, is new.travel42.com. The current site or the legacy site is going to be www.travel42.com. Those are both active. And if you have any rate information, I would definitely suggest reaching out to me directly. My email address is lworley@ntmllc.com. I would be happy to help you with any free trial information or any rate information. And as of now, I'm not sure if there is a map for points of interest. Let's see. Let's go to our destination guide. I'm going to click view. Let's go into Ocho Rios so we can actually see a city guide, which will populate restaurants. View details. Let's go into dining. I don't think there is a map right now for the restaurants or for the points of interest. We do have the address and we do have the website, and then also some information about the restaurant. So you can see the hours that they're open, and then any information about them, you can go into the website. But that's a great idea for the future. Thank you. And as of now, yes, everything went well with the recording. So I should be able to send out a link to that recording, and you will also find it as soon as I get it uploaded under the help tab on live webinars and on-demand training. It'll be under that on-demand training section. All right, well, I thank you guys very much for joining. Should you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Again, my email address is lworley, WORLEY, at N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, LLC.com. I'm here to help, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.